Okay, good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Seymore, and I work with the Earl C. Clements Job Corps Academy, located in Western Kentucky. Our academy is located in Morganfield, and I reside in Madisonville. So all last night, I know we had a thunderstorm here. My wife's texted me they had several tornadoes right over our house, and my daughter's all upset, so it was long nights even though I wasn't home. But what I was going to speak to you basically today about is back last July, as Robert Shepard already mentioned, some of this is to reiterate what he spoke about, is the Secretary of Labor, one of her initiatives was good jobs for everybody. And one of the groups that needed probably some of the biggest concerns were those young discharged veterans in the age group of 20 to 24. And at that time, when they initiated the pilot program, it was about a 20 to 21% unemployment rate for that select group of the young veterans. In order to help those young transitioning service members, they thought if we could afford them the opportunity to receive some additional training, maybe to give them the skills that they're going to need to make them become competitive in the civilian workplace, what better place to do that than one of the best programs that we already have with America, helping young people with skills, which would be to get them into Job Corps. Once they did that, they selected three, as the pilot program, 3 different Job Corps centers across the nation. As you know, there's 122 Job Corps across the nation. They did select 3, Excelsior Springs, Atterbury, and then of course Earl C. Clements, where I work at, were the pilot programs to accept them. And the incoming veterans, they do have some special benefits and special privileges, obviously. There's some of the, for lack of better terminology, the normal students that we would receive. And we receive intake every Tuesday. Some people don't realize that, but every Tuesday we receive intake of students. Some of the privileges that they have, and I'm not sure how familiar everyone is with Job Corps, but I'll kind of give you just a little bit of background information, then that way you can see some of the privileges. Our center, we have what we call the on-board strength, which basically, as we all know numbers, we're required to have X amount of students. That X amount for our center is 1,300. So that kind of gives you an idea. We're a pretty large center. 1,300 students is a lot of students running around. When they first arrive on center, they go into what they call a career prep period, which we abbreviate, we call that CPP. That's a 4-week period for all incoming students. And that pretty much what it does is it acclimates them and gets them started with the basics they're going to need to make their stay at Job Corps be as successful as we can possibly make it. For an incoming veteran student, due to the increased leadership and maturity that they will have, that 4 weeks time frame is cut down to 12 to 14 days. And we cut it down as quick as we possibly could, because the goal is we want to get them into their career and technical training as fast as we possibly can. So that is one of the benefits. Also, our center, again, it's 1,300 students, and it's actually, the best way to describe it would be, it's 3 centers in one. Because our center is divided up into 3 separate schools, and each school has its own center director. We have a school of transportation, a school of construction, and a school of health science and technology. And thus, each school has its individual trades. Veterans, when they arrive on center, and we have skills just like I guess any college would have, to where the course is full. Certain skill sets are in more demand than others. However, all veteran students have priority. Even if the trade is full, they go to the top of the list. Because we want, obviously, once again, to get them into their career and technical training, to help facilitate that as quickly as we possibly can. Then the third major incentive that the veteran student has that the average student does not is, and once again Robert Shepard did mention this, is they have the opportunity to live in the same dorm together, which gives them, as we all know as veterans, we all have that common bond with each other. And I know, along with everyone else, because we travel. I'm retired, and myself, I retired in 2005, and once I retired, and I know I don't look as old as I am, I know I look about 26 or whatever. Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to that. But getting back with that is just try and, again, the whole program is just set up there to the very best we can. And I have a brochure that was made by our print shop, and you're more than welcome if you're really interested to take that. It's in the back, and it lists each trade that we offer on center, and it also lists some of the exact student down to the grass stuff about the vets program that I wasn't going to obviously brief. But if you want, down in the, what I call down in the bush type stuff, it's offered in a book, and the box is back there, and you're definitely welcome to take that. And I know that was kind of quick. Are there any questions that you would have reference to the VETS pilot program that's at the job corps?
Yeah, did you mention how many vets are in the pilot program right now?
I did not mention that. Currently, as we speak, we have 22 vets that are in our pilot program at Earl C. Clements.
How long is it down for them?
That's a very good question. Job Corps is a self-paced program, so a lot of the length of stay depends upon the student. And in addition to the student, it can also depend upon the trade that is selected. We do offer the advanced training at our center. I'll give you an example. Just last week, we had 17 different Job Corps centers from Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Cincinnati, all across the United States were at Earl C. Clements because we offer the advanced automotive training at our facility, which is through the United Auto Workers, UAW. And they were hosting, last week we hosted a conference. It was more than a conference, it was actually a competition where the 17 centers brought in their teams that compete in engine diagnostics, and they would bug a vehicle, and then the students had to go through and properly diagnose and find out what the bug was. And I know we talked about the green just a few minutes ago. That's one of the things that they do at UAW is already they're working on concepts and vehicles that actually the vehicles are not even off the assembly line yet. But how are we going to work on those? So it's again just an awesome program to develop those skill sets. One other thing I'll piggyback off of was we discussed about the 22 veterans that we currently have on center. We are not just sitting and being complacent with that. Mr. Shepard and his team, like I said, he's been in the center twice, he's coming back out. There's a lot of interest into this program, and obviously for a very good reason, because anytime we can serve each other, that's the way I look at it, we're serving each other, then I think we're doing great things.